Hello everyone, welcome back to Beskidy. We are starting here besides grandfather. Yes, we're gonna go out and get to work. And yeah, we'll just cycle through the equipment here. As we shared last time, I cut a significant amount of grass off cam. And kind of the whole last episode was looking into what we do with the grass after it was cut. We had a baler that was just kicking bales like crazy after we tedded it. And as you can see, we have a whole lineup here of all those bales kind of showing what happened. Kind of on the right is what normal is, what it should look like, and here on the left, it was just throwing bales, and it might have even thrown more bales out if I'd been driving slower, for all I know. Anyway, I'm hopeful we have it fixed and that we can get to work kind of on the rest of this grass. We have a fair amount that's been cut down, and this will hopefully provide a means to earn a little revenue kind of while we're waiting for our crops to get ready for harvest. So let me come over here. We're gonna have to ted this. Oh, here's our trailer, and I think Kanapkis Uranum, Uranium Sandwiches, has offered to help. I forget the term that he used, but he offered to help on this trailer, and I'm curious to see what he's gonna do with it. This particular trailer, I spent some time working on the auto load script. It still isn't perfect. You can't save it that way. Probably would never work in multiplayer, but at least for what I need in here, I think it'll work okay. So I gather this particular trailer probably isn't something you would see in Poland. So he was going to work on it, and yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what he comes up with. I just noticed here this front tire doesn't even look like it is touching the ground. Well, anyway, like I say, we'll see what he comes up with. Oh, there goes a rooster. All right, here's the tractor we need to be to for the tedding. But last time, as we were dealing with all this, I think I made a mention that there also were a lot of other errors sitting in the log. And this is something, any of us that have played with a lot of mods in Farming Simulator, it's kind of just a rite of passage. It's something you have to deal with. A good lot of the time. Maybe there are mods in the log that you can play with as is. Maybe they're innocuous. They don't really cause any problems. And sometimes you can just let them go. And occasionally there's also errors that you'll see in there that can't be fixed, but it's still playable. But I don't know. I personally like having a clean log file, as clean as I can get it. And so sometimes, and I recently started playing this map. I shared a whole bunch of mods with me, and I don't know where all these mods came from. Don't know kind of what their history is, how they're supposed to work. I'm still figuring a lot of that out. But I've noticed a number of them have some errors. And I wanted to show that just a little bit, kind of what I mean. This here is a log file, and let me see if I can show, when you have your game files and you look here, it's in this root folder for Farming Simulator 13 in this case. It's called log.txt. And this is where it will inform you if something's going wrong. And a lot of it that you're going to see in here, it's going to be just basic stuff. As things load, It's going to put stuff in here. There's system information, blah, 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 a whole bunch of stuff. And frankly, I don't even know what a whole lot of this is. You know, I'm just a novice. But the other thing that you'll see is if there's any problems when a particular mod is loaded, it's going to tell you about it in here. So the first problem that we see is it says invalid mod name AK mods. Well, the reason that this is a problem, this is a directory I created in the mods folder. Here, I'll just show you. If we go to my mods folder, here I have a directory called AK mods. All it is a whole bunch of other mods that I'm not currently using. I've kind of just warehousing them, putting them here. Probably what I should do is not have a directory sitting right here. But the game is gonna assume that anything sitting in the mods folder is a valid mod, and all it's saying here is, hey, this is not a valid mod. It has a space in here, and it doesn't even look further. It just ignores it, bypasses it. So it's kind of it's not a problem. The next one that it tells, it says, or that kind of showed up as an error, was a mistake on my part. It's here's an alpha and x8 unzip me. It's a zip file, and it contains some other mods in the file. And if I had been paying attention properly, I would have unzipped it and got the other mods out of the zip file. So all that it takes to have this go away is to unzip it and get rid of this particular file, which I did. And since it was a zip file, it started looking for other things in it. The mod desk, XML, every mod without fail has this in it. And if it doesn't, if it's a zip file and it doesn't have it in there, well, it's going to tell you. So the first error shows up here, the second error is here, and then it says it's missing desk version attribute. Well, that's because it's missing this file here, which always has the desk version attribute. The version of the game that you're running, if you will, it's a number. So all three of these errors are related to the same thing. So what I did to fix it was I unzipped it and I got rid of this unzipped me file, pulled it out of the mods folder, and everything I think now is hunky-dory. And you just go on down the line and you see these. Some errors are really simple to fix. This one was my fault. Then we get to this one here. This might have been another pack. I don't recall. Only zip mods. Oh, yeah, hey, this is the tedder. Yeah, that's the tedder that we've been working on, and I still have it sitting in the folder unzipped. So that's kind of what's going on there. This one up here, missing. Oh, I remember what happened. Someone, I think, when they prepared this mod, it was a folder inside it instead of, it expects when it looks inside the zip file, it's looking immediately for the mod desk. It didn't see it. What was in there instead was a folder. The full mod was there. It was just fine, but it was nested deeper than what the game is used to finding. So, these are kind of some, it was really easy to fix. I just went into the folder, re-zipped it up so that it was only one layer deep, and boom, it's done. And why some of these mods get released or sent out to the public this way, I don't know. It's almost like they didn't test them at the last minute to make sure they work. They just threw it up against the wall hoping it would stick, and they didn't. Here's another folder I created in my mods file. It isn't intended to be a mod, so it's kind of the same error that was up here. What you want to see then, of course, there's a whole string of mods here that are loaded and all hunky-dory, no problems. That's awesome. But then, of course, we're going to have other problems. Here was another pack. I forgot to unzip it, so again, it was easy to blow that error out. Here was a second map door trigger mod. I have no idea why I had two in there. One was mapped or triggered .zip, and the other one was named mapped or trigger www.modeland.net.zip. Well, you're not supposed to have this garbage here sitting in the name of the mod. But apparently, when it was downloaded from this site, they unhelpfully put the name of their site right in the name of the mod. I don't know why you would do that. Because what this is telling you is they're going to totally ignore, the game is going to totally ignore this mod, and it's not even going to work. But as it turned out, I already had a copy here, so I just eliminated this copy out of the mod file. Easy peasy, and it's done. That's an error I've described above. It was just another folder, others to try. I think I was putting, I don't know, it's been a little while now, putting other mods in this folder to try later. This one here, missing desk version attribute. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what's wrong with this, but it was pretty easy to fill in. It might have been another folder within the zip file, and I just had to zip the folder and make it nested one layer deep. The mod file, or the log file, will also have warnings, which aren't as serious typically as errors. But it's intended, for example, only zip mods to have in your mod folder. That's what's going to work in the multiplayer environment. It doesn't matter when it's a single player environment, which I'm in currently. I unzipped this particular mod. I was up using it. This is some episodes ago, working on some bales and what have you. So I mean, this warning, it isn't that serious. It's just saying, hey, before you do multiplayer, you need to zip it up. So looking down through here, it's loading the mod, no problems. It has the parts, that it would expect. So we're coming in here, register vehicle type. These are all different. These are modded vehicles with their own specializations. Some from the DLC Titanium add-on. This is from a mod, Forest mod. Some really different vehicles. You see all that coming in here. Don't really see any errors. There were some other ones that I got down here. Yeah, now it's loading. Aha, here we go. Error, can't load resource, and this ES limiter event. It's a Lua file. So, it's going to totally ignore this John Deere 7530, whatever that is. I don't think we have one in game yet, but all this log is telling you is it can't load it, which usually means it can't find it. So I went into this mod, and sure enough, it didn't have any of these three files in it. So what I did is I opened the mod.desk file, and I commented out its request for these events. So it no longer is asking for those files. Now, another approach might have been to find these particular files and just populate it or put it in there in the scripts folder so it can find it. So I may do that if I ever use this particular mod, and if it has, if it has other scripts that are looking for these, I may need to find them and put them in there. This little error here is a little more tricky. You notice it says, warning, and again, it's only a warning, missing daily upkeep value and store item. But it doesn't tell you which mod that it is. So I noticed that it was this one here. So I went to this mod. This appears to be registered okay. And then there was this one here. So there was a mod in between these two. And lo and behold, in the mod.desk file, it was missing the daily upkeep attribute. Maybe I could just pop this one open to show. And most of these, I hope what you're seeing is it's very simple to fix a lot of these, and you get rid of the log error, and then your mods function the way they're intended. So Kuhn GMD66, here it is right here. And then the next one was, I don't know how you say that, Confernland. was right here. So there's this Colty Warrior right kind of in the middle. So this one, you see the date, it is one that I modified. So it's in the mod desk folder. We'll just pop that open. Over here, you see this daily upkeep. This whole attribute was missing. It just didn't exist. So I put in a daily upkeep, and now it's in the mod, and that should eliminate this particular error. But it's a little bit a trickier one because it doesn't specifically tell you which mod is involved. So the rest, let's see, there's no errors here. These here, I opened these to start pulling them out as errors, but here's the thing, I opted to leave them in there. What it's looking for is specializations with the more realistic mod. The moment we put the more realistic mod back into the mods folder, these errors are going to disappear. In the meantime, I don't think you'll be able to use these because they're set up to have the more realistic scripts in them, and if one specialization doesn't work, I don't think you can use it. So if I really wanted to use these items without the more realistic mod, I would have to go in and comment out these particular specializations. And yeah, maybe I should show that, but I don't know. I'm probably boring people as it is. So, like I say, most of these were really simple. Let's see, this one here was looking, this one here I opted to, it's looking for a Lua file, Power Shaft Lua. I really don't know what this does, but I just did a simple search in my mods folder, and lo and behold, several other mods had the Power Shaft Lua file. So I went and grabbed it from those mods, and then I put it in here so that this mod could have access to it. I also opened the mod XML file and this file to make sure the XML file had tags in it, that is called for by this Lua file. And so I think that'll get rid of the error, and it should work hopefully as intended. If not, it'll kick another error, but it'll be a different kind. What? Okay, those aren't errors. Down here, let me see. I'm pretty sure there was some others. Like I said, I cracked through probably half of the log file trying to fix whatever I could find. Yeah, none of these are errors. It's just telling you stuff is being loaded, sometimes in the form of gobbledygook. I learned every bit of Lua coding that I know was taught to me by a modern name of Centro, Xentro, and I know his counsel to me was to not put a bunch of garbage in the log file. That the only stuff that should be in the log file is, something where there's a genuine error, So I have a feeling he probably wouldn't like a lot of these items in here where they're just filling it up with material, but whatever. All right, here's one I had to do a little work on. This actually is a tractor I think we're using right now, the Ursus C4011, and it says it's using a raw texture format. Now, I'm no expert on textures, but I think the problem is they're using the .png. I'm not even sure what that stands for Colo 1, Colo 2. I'm not even going to try to pronounce these. What the game eventually went to was DDS textures, and so these weren't converted. And DDS, what does that stand for? Is it Digital Draw Surface? Yeah, I'm not even sure what that is. Anyway, so it just needed these to be converted. So if you pull open a picture editor, I pulled each one of these open, and I saved them all as DDS file. And I've used paint.net for a lot of any texture work that I've ever done. But it was really easy to convert them, and I just, changed them to DDS. I left the originals in case I screwed up, and then I went into the i3D file, this right here, for this particular tractor, and instead of calling the PNG, I put the DDS in the extension, because this is the i3D file. It's the one that pulls in the textures and knows how to apply it to the model. So yeah, pretty easy to fix, but just took a little bit of work. And now these start getting a little bit more fun. Here is, what is this, a track? Is this also on the Ursus C4? Yeah, this one had a lot of errors, even down into here. So here it says 3D stereo sound files not supported. Well, you have to open it in a sound editor, if you will, and convert them from stereo to mono. And it's really easy, well, at least when you know how to do it. It's at a click of a button. You can convert it from stereo to mono. Still have to have other specs okay on audio. And I realized someone trying to do this with no background in modding, this is going to be tough. This and maybe even some of these others. But after you've done it for a while and you know what some of these things are, really, it's really a pretty simple fix. I just took these files out, saved over the top of them as mono files, and now the error is going to be gone. These here, it can't load it, and just like we saw up above, you know, it was looking for a Lua file it couldn't find. Well, ditto with this. There's a script in there that is calling for all of these particular sounds. And I assume this is in Polish. I don't know how to read these, so I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, I just don't know what these mean. The point is the mod can't find them, and sure enough, when you go to this directory, you know, where they're all supposed to be sitting, none of these files are in there. So I did kind of what I suggested above. I searched the mods that I had to say, hey, does someone else have this file, and sure enough, a couple other mods had these files. So you robbed Peter to pay Paul. I went and grabbed these files and I put them in the folder, you know, where this one is calling it, and I'm assuming this error will go away, and now I'll have some extra sounds in game that it's going to be asking for. So I think this is approximately where I stopped. I mean, it took, you know, most of these I've said are pretty simple. It took maybe hour and a half with all this horsing around to do. So there are still plenty more errors. You know, I think the next one here is going to come up, and you know what? I'm not familiar with UVS out of range. I know I've seen it before. I'm going to have to look that one up and see what that means. But there's just more of the same. You know, here's more files that need to be converted to mono. Here we have indexes out of range, so I'm going to need to open the XML file and the i3de and check the indices. And this is helpful in the error. It tells you exactly what index is off, so you can compare it and make sure it's on the right area. This one goes on and on. There's several pages. There's a lot of indices, you know, to update and fix. And, you know, more resources it can't load, so there's a whole lot of work to do. You know, I just eventually got tired and wanted to actually play the game, which I know we can do, but like I say, I like having a clean mod file. So this is kind of the mod file, or the, excuse me, I said clean mod file, clean log file. This is the old log file, and I since have loaded it up, so I'm assuming that a lot of those errors are now gone. So I just wanted to share a little on that. I mean, I know probably everybody's going to have errors. The worst errors are the recurring ones. And you know, a lot of those you'll get with a Lua file, and where something is off and it just keeps, the error pops over and over and over, and everything gets sluggish in the game, or it's impossible to move, and it just, you can't really do anything. Eventually it blows up your log file. You know, if you don't know what that is and things are just slow, you know, your log file may be filling up, and eventually I think it breaks. It'll get so bloated and big that the game will literally stop and you can't do anything. So yeah, so just a look at a couple of errors and, you know, trying to deal with fixing them. So actually, you know what, is this the tractor I've been working on? Let me start this thing up. No, this isn't the tractor. I think it was another one. This is a 1224 Ursus. But hey, You know, we have a few bales to pick up. You know what? Maybe that's what I should do. Let me go over to my trailer here. Let me try to come in here. I'm going to pick these up. Alright, let me pick these bales up. Boy, there's no, you're either on or off with that one. Oh, hey, it's already stacking them on here. Well, that's kind of helpful. Let me pick these up real quick, and then I was going to come through and TED the rest of this. We'll deal with this whole thing, get rid of... Unfortunately, my slight nod to realism means we're not going to make near as much money. But you know what? That's okay. We'll get these bales out of the way, and whether I complete baling, I probably need to go sell these before I close the session. So let me just put this here. Okay. Yeah, it's done. Recycle back through real quick. Here we go. Alright, he's still on. Let me make sure. Let's see, activate tether mode. Alright, we got that on. And kind of like we saw last time, I think that this is going to work for us. And so basically what I have now to do is I have a boatload of... Are you down? Nope, I just lifted them up. I have a bunch of tedding I need to do. And... Alright, there it is. Oh, phew, for a second I was worried it wasn't doing... Yeah, it's putting it off to the side. Alright. So I got a bunch of work to do, got some tedding to do, and then we'll need to row it up and commence baling. Unfortunately, I spent most of this episode yakking about... squeeze by there. Yakking about errors in logs, and I don't know if that was helpful to anybody or not. What is this? It does not want to climb the hill. Here I'm in one. There I'm in two. And now it's going. Okay, I'm not sure what was going on. I mainly... Oh, come on, boy. Physics! We go across the top here. Wow, that is fast. Let me slow that down, probably to a more natural speed. Yeah, as you can see, I'm not very good at this. It's interesting to see how this piles it off to the left. I have a feeling I'm losing the grass, but I'm not sure exactly what to do. I'm mainly trying to clear an outer lane, if you will, so that I can kind of come back the other way. And is this a hollow tree? It is. Wish I could have driven through trees on the... Oh, that is not hollow. Oh no, he wants me to go around. Alright, now that I kind of got that, what I was trying to do is I figured I would throw it to the outside. So maybe if I get him going here, now I will kick it over to the left. And that's going to make a bigger windrow kind of on the left. But you know, I just don't know what it's doing. You know, in real life, it would be putting drier grass over the top of the others. So, yeah, this is kind of, yeah, this is going to make it a little bit bigger. But see, I'm now opening kind of some open space that I can move the tedded hay to. So it'll make a little bit larger windrow kind of here on the outer edge, but I don't know. You know, it'd be interesting. Someone here who's Polish, you know, if you could comment, how is this thing used in real life? Oop, can't even see. Am I making a big pile? I can't tell if that's a big pile or not. You know, in real life, you know, is it used kind of on the outside of a field, kind of kicking it to the outside like I'm doing? Or is it done differently? You know, I'm going to basically be going counterclockwise here as I do this. But yeah, I admittedly, I don't know what I'm doing, so if someone from Poland knows how this is typically used, I would appreciate your advice and counsel. Wow, such a beautiful map. I know we've talked a lot about errors and log files, and have spent a lot of time horsing around. Now, why am I crawling up this hill? Oh, interesting. I guess because it wants to. It wants to go 2 miles an hour. There's the bell. Yeah, it must be more of a hill than I think it is. But yeah, I was saying, I know we've talked a lot about, you know, Lua files here of late, and errors and log files and all those kinds of things, but I'm just trying to get to the point, you know, where I can just play the map and enjoy it and get rid of some pesky errors. And so, you know, when I get done with this episode, get done recording it, I'm going to be popping open the log file. I'll see kind of what is accumulated in there after some of the fixes that I described, and we'll see, you know, what kind of work I have ahead of me to try to get all that straightened out. It's moving it over as I back into it. So, am I supposed to go this fast? 13 miles an hour? Maybe I am. What do I know? But now it's making use kind of the open spot that I left it. I'm not sure why the grass cut this particular way. It seems like it left some open spots, so. But anyway, I will keep busy at work here for a little bit. Thank you so much for watching this, humoring me a little bit. I don't know if reading about and fixing or hearing about fixing of errors was helpful to anybody. I hope it helped somebody. If not, I'm sure some of you will let me know. But have a wonderful day, whatever you're doing, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.